In the past 2 millennia, Africans lived by ideas given to them by other people. It is now time for Africans to produce their own ideas, write them down, not so-called oral traditions, and live by them. If you like, Africans are in a period of gestation where they are synthesizing their indigenous cultures and the alien cultures imposed on them and, sooner or later, would burst out with an adaptive culture, one that synthesized all the cultures they have been exposed to. I have made some efforts in that direction in my efforts to synthesize Occidental, Oriental, and African approaches to psychology, philosophy, and religion. The world needs a bold philosophy. That new thought system has come from me. I am qualified to produce this philosophy. In fact, it is what I came to the world to do. My character had an inner drive to succeed. I did not relax until I obtained the doctorate degree in my late 20s. I had what Shakespeare would call vaulting ambition, and it drove me to what seemed like success. As long as I struggled to succeed, I felt that I was doing something important and did not think about the nothingness of being an ego and body. As a hero on a quest for meaning, soon enough I realized that the mad ambition to amount to something important, as he world cease importance to be, is all for nothing. In my mid-30s, I dropped out of teaching at an American university and devoted myself to the study of Hinduism and other Eastern religions to see if perchance there is meaning in life. I am an existentialist. For literature on existentialism, see Kierkegaard, Dostoevsky, Kafka, Sartre, Camus, Jasper, Heidegger, and other writers in the field, or read some of my own efforts on existential psychotherapy. We in the modern era think that we discovered a new philosophy and psychology, existentialism, but that philosophy was already known to the ancients. We are born, grow up, pursue ambitions, and die. Existential psychology and psychotherapy, that is, understanding and accepting the absurdity and nothingness of being without regret and wishing for non-existent El Dorado, is the most adult and realistic approach to living. I have incredible skills. I can close my eyes and teach you all you need to get an MBA, finance, accounting, marketing, and so on. All you need to have a doctorate degree in psychology and other areas. I have amazing leadership skills. When I go to a work situation, folks immediately see a manager and leader. I have always risen to the top of work organizations that I go to. Alas, none of the jobs I had done gave me a sense of purpose and meaning. They were kind of like time-killing measures. I had not discovered what really makes sense to me in life. From this situation, I learned that successful people are those who discovered a line of work that makes sense to them and gives them a sense of purpose and living a meaningful life. Until you discover your purpose, you are not going to become a success, as the world defines success to be. However, many people do not seem to bother with meanings. Be that as it may, some of us want a meaningful world. What currently gives me purpose and meaning is to do what returns me to God, and while at it, make money to support my family members. You need money to live in this world. Given my extraordinary skills in many areas, there is no reason why I should not be making millions of dollars. Annually, I have examined most of the philosophies and religions of mankind and borrowed from all of them and synthesized them into a philosophy that makes sense to me. During the first week of December, I will write about 25 pages and add them to the 475 pages already. Written manuscript to make it 500 pages and send it out to be professionally edited and published. It is now time to give the world a new spirituality. This is what I came to the world to do. The world has been waiting for me to begin my mission, and I now begin it. No more vacillating, fence-sitting, pretending as if I do not know what to do. Rational human beings need philosophy, a rational path to life that guides their thinking and enables them to live in a certain manner. They need a philosophy with which to guide their minds, balm their minds, so as to tolerate the world's absurdities as they are. Philosophy gives people a roadmap to guide their lives. Philosophy gives people light with which to see the world, although it does not predict the future. The masses, on the other hand, need religion that gives them mythological answers, not necessarily rational answers, to guide their lives. People do not need shallow psychotherapies that do not answer the existential questions that confront them. Psychotherapy assumes that people are mentally sick and need treatment. Actually, most people are normal but are perplexed by the exigencies of living on Earth and need guidance on how to live. The age of psychotherapy is over. We now must return to giving rational human beings what they want, a philosophy for adults and a religion to irrational persons. Boethius said that philosophy is the solace of intelligent persons, and Karl Marx said that religion is the opium of the masses. I have examined most of the philosophies and religions of mankind and borrowed from all of them and synthesized them into a philosophy that makes sense to me, the quintessential rational mind. What makes sense to me makes sense to scientists. We need a philosophy that we do not have to accept on faith, but accept on the basis of pure reason, realizing, as Immanuel Kant reminded us in his Critique of Pure Reason, that pure reason has limitations. The philosophy I have synthesized is African existentialism. It is akin to Gnosticism. See Plotinus's Ennead and Helen Schumann's A Course in Miracles, but is not it, for it does not negate this world and escape to some woolly world that we cannot verify. It is like existentialism. See the writings of Jean-Paul Sartre, Albert Camus, Jasper, Heidegger, Van Deurzen, etc. But it is not depressed and drown itself in sorrow and addictions, overeating, sex, alcohol, and drugs. It is a philosophy that accepts the world as it is, meaningless and pointless, but boldly gives us a path to finding meaning and purpose to live for. If it makes you feel fine to see African existentialism as religion, by all means do so. Philosophy and religion perform the same function for people. Give them mental maps and answer existential questions. If you studied the various philosophies of the West and the religions of the East, you will see aspects of what you studied in African existentialism. You will see insights from Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Zeno, Stoicism, Epicure, Gnosticism, Seneca, Cicero, Marcus Aurelius, Augustine's Catholicism, Origen, Tertullian, Aquinas, Erasmus, Martin Luther, John Calvin, Machiavelli, Pascal, Voltaire, Denis Diderot, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, David Hume, George Berkeley, Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, Spinoza, Ludwig Leibniz, Kant, Hegel, Schopenhauer, Karl Marx, Edmund Burke, Jeremy Bentham, James Mill, John Stuart Mill, James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, John J. Feuerbach, Nietzsche, Henri Bergson, William James, Jacques Derrida, Ludwig Wittgenstein, and so on. If Oriental religious thinkers exercise your mind, you will find insights from Krishna, Gautama Buddha, Lao Tzu, Confucius, Shankara, Ramanuja, Guru Nanak, Ramakrishna, and Vivekananda, etc. In African existentialism, you will also see the best of African religions minus their superstitious aspects. If science is your cup of tea, you will find that both classical science, mechanics, heat, light, electricity, sound, and new science, quantum physics, plasma physics, and molecular biology are covered in African existentialism. If Western psychology is of interest to you, you will find just about everything ever written by the trailblazers of Western psychology in Osugism. Freud, Adler, Jung, Otto Rank, Erich Fromm, Erik Erikson, Karen Horney, Abraham Maslow, R.D. Laing, Albert Ellis, Aaron Beck, B.F. Skinner, Gordon Allport, John Watson, and the other behaviorists and the neuroscientists. Whatever are your psychological studies, you will see it synthesized in African existentialism. The ideas of the world's major writers such as Homer, Virgil, Ovid, Horace, Dante, Geoffrey Chaucer, William Shakespeare, John Milton, Alexander Pope, Walter Scott, Charles Dickens, Victor Hugo, Thomas Hardy, George Eliot, George Orwell, Bernard Shaw, Goethe, Dumas, Dostoevsky, Tolstoy, Mark Twain, Eugene O'Neill, and so on are all found in African existentialism. African existentialism is written in over 50 books, but its essence can be found in the 2 volumes Mind Science. Mind Science is about 1,500 pages long. Thinking is allowed. I welcome you to the exhilarating world of thinking presented in the perennial philosophy of mankind known as African existentialism. Africa is the birthplace of all mankind. People migrated from Africa outwards to other regions of the world. In their new regions, they formulated civilizations that helped them adapt to their world. But now civilization has come full circle to where mankind began. Africa. Africans understand the nature of love and forgiveness. Other groups merely talk about love and forgiveness but do not know what they are talking about. It is Africans that have in fact been compelled to forgive other groups. Africans forgave the Arabs and Europeans that enslaved them. A group that has practiced forgiveness is in a position to teach mankind the nature of love. For on earth, true love is characterized by forgiveness. I have written on this subject elsewhere. If this world is to survive, we need forgiveness, and no other people are better equipped to teach them that than Africans, a people who have been subjected to incredible abuse and still are standing on their own feet.